I'm telling you, just wait, look at the screen. No, look at the screen. Okay, come on, look at the screen. Don't be scared. Shh. Hang on, just the screen. Oh my God. Hang on. She's scared of the movies. Well, there he is. Lazy kitty. Doing the thing. 20 hours of sleeping. 20. You broke a record, kitty. Look at them whiskers. Look at that kitty. Right next to me. Of course, ow, there he goes. Of course, I didn't sleep that many hours. I think I have maybe once. 20 hours straight, kitty. I've been keeping a log on you. A sleeping log. Look at that kitty. All right. Haven't done the floor work yet, but I did get 93, 94, almost 95 minutes done on the hike. So we're at an hour and 35 minutes. So yeah, about 95. Next step, floor work. So I left today. I didn't even realize that I did the floor work. I mean, I didn't do the floor work. I didn't realize that. But I am going to do the floor work. So we turn this on and we'll get this off this way. Kitty is very lazy. You can kind of see, I'll kind of show you. I gotta turn this on. There we go. Kitty's just doing the kitty thing. Now he'll go after my ankles sometimes when I do the floor work. Where I turn the fan off. And the floor work, I knew that you've seen the floor work before, so I'm gonna show you just kind of a version. I told Linda the other day, I said, well, maybe I'll do this kind of Jane Fonda. I'm trying to think of a famous male workout guy other than Richard Simmons, who I have met. I met Richard Simmons when I was about, I don't know how old I was, maybe 10 years old. My mom worked for Richard Simmons' health club. So, first, we're gonna talk about the push-ups because I watched them. I watched some of these videos. Kitty, here, come on. He's got a comfortable Tempur-Pedic. Here we go. This way, come on. Kitty's coming in. Come on, let's go. There we go. Because he'll bite my ankle. All right, now, what we're gonna do is we'll put on this backlight here. Get kind of Spielberg right over here. Okay. As in Steven Spielberg. Yes, Linda's like, why did you say he called you? I said he called me telepathically. She's like, people can't call people telepathically. I said, yeah, they can. Have you ever seen Star Wars? All right, let me get some water first. I'm doing kind of like these long takes. We got a long ways to go. As I said, I made a promise. If I'm going to show up to Hollywood, I'm going to show up like a champ. Last time I showed up at about 157 pounds. This time I'm going to be okay with 170. Whoa, that's cold. Yeah, I know. I'll be okay with 170. Then I'll be more employable. You can always gain weight for millions of dollars. I want to talk about first sit-ups, okay? And I'm going to put you right over here. And we're going to do what's called 10 really good ones, okay? Some of you are there, and some of you aren't. Because when I was doing these a while back, I wasn't able to do them at all. I had to practice. But I'm going to put my feet right under here, just like that. That's a couch. And we're gonna see if we can do 10 really good ones and see what you think about that. Whoops, we got a little bit of this Fellini kind of thing going right here. Kind of what they call framing. There we go. Now this is going to kind of jiggle the phone a little bit. So I'm gonna press it back here. So the project, there we go, here we go. We're gonna do one good one, okay? We're gonna come down, all the way down flat on the ground. There's the 2-1. We're gonna do the same thing with the push-ups. There's the 3rd. There's the 4th part of the floor work. There's the 5. There's the 6. There's the 7. There's the 8. There's the 9. Number 10, moving to 11. Keep it going. We got that 12. Moving to 13. Right through 14. Gonna get that 15. Bring your hands out. Moving to 15. Extra 16. Extra 17. Extra 18. The star 19, the one you stopped on. And 20. Just beat you. 21. 22. 23, I went out to Hollywood. 24 when I was 27. 25. 26. One more 27. Time on this. All we're doing is elevating right here. Nothing major. We're gonna count on the crunches. Just 10 on each finger. Because I know you gotta get to work. You gotta get to that cubicle. You gotta get to your cubicle and you don't have a lot of time. We're gonna go with the 1. That makes 10 right there. There's a 20. Doing this finger right here. Ring finger right here. Fifth pinky right here, the pinky. The thumb here. Now, I want to talk about this on the finger right here. This is going to be a total of 10. Engaging the abs. Middle finger. Middle finger here, this ring finger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so do as many as you want. If you want to do up to 1,000, 2,000 on the sit-ups, it's whatever you want. When I was at the new school university, I would do a minimum of 1,000 a day usually. On push-ups, 500 a day. That was minimum. I want to talk about push-ups because probably when I was there, I probably wasn't doing it completely right. There's a cadence to push-ups. We're only going to work on 10, but I'm probably going to turn it off and do the remainder of what I do. That was the ghost in the kitchen. The cat's in the bathroom. All right, now, here we go. What I'm gonna show, let me take these off, is a cadence because you wanna get the muscles elongated, not just cramped and bulky. Because when you strike, like in jiu-jitsu or whatever it is, you want a full strike throughout the entire motion. You don't just want to jab because you want to be able to knock out your component or your opponent, sorry. But there'll be a component to you basically. All right, so we're up here into the plank. Get a little bit of a plank. You don't have to do a long plank. You don't have to do it that long, however long you want to do it. But what you want to do on all of them is go all the way down to the ground. Okay, I'm going to show you right here on this so you can see. Because I don't think you could see earlier. Yeah. We'll have to move everything back. There we go. There we go. So that we can see the entire thing. Because I know Wahlberg's watching. Now, when you get up here on the plank, but his drugs will make him fail. All the way down this way. That's the 1. That's the 2. That's the 3. That's the 4. There's the 5. That's the 6. That's the 7. All the way down, like a cadence. 8, 9, all the way to 10. And you just keep doing it that way. So you do them all the way down and then all the way up. Well, I have to rest my knee because I was at Blue Goose. It's a cantina, Mexican. And they have these low, well, it's not low, but it's just these seats that are about this high off the ground. And they're picnic tables. And when I got up after I got an order about 3 or 4 days ago, I hit my knee a certain way. So it's been kind of hurting me. And I had this blonde waitress and she brought me chips. Then I got an order and I got up real quick, boom, and hit my knee like that quick. I videotaped it, I vlogged it right after I did it. But we're gonna stay in today. It's gonna be a rest day, just to hang out and rest my knee. And anyway, so some films I wanted to recommend because I'm a big cinema buff, and I don't know if I know all these directors, but at least I know most of the films. His actor on vlogging. Well, they were videotaping him at the Criterion Collection. Which I'm a big fan. I'm going to show you these movies. All right, so these are off the Criterion Collection. These are films. I'm a big cinema buff. 400 Blows. That's Truffaut. He's one of the finest filmmakers. It came out of the New Wave movement. The player is Robert Altman. My aunt actually worked with him on Dr. T and the Woman, or Dr. T and the Women. She was one of the ladies in the gynecologist's office that were yelling at him. Being There is Hal Ashby. I personally like Harold and Maude better, but Being There is a really kind of mysterious film. Punch Drunk Love, P.T. Anderson. Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. I'm a big fan of Crooklyn. I like Mo Better Blues. Barry Lyndon, that's old Kubrick, Stanley. Some people think he's the best in the world, Stanley Kubrick. Barry Lyndon's colorful, uses lots of candlelight. John Cassavetes is mysterious because I've only been able to watch Husbands. I've seen Nick Cassavetes, his son, She's So Lovely with Sean Penn and John Travolta, but John Cassavetes is his father. And was a kind of an independent filmmaker that he got out on a movie called a pretty big role on a Hollywood movie. He was an actor. He was in Dirty Dozen, and then he went off and made a bunch of his own films with Peter Falk and a bunch of other great actors on a pretty low budget. But Columbia backed him, so Columbia actually let him do it, and he made these films. Don't know if they're improv. Don't know if they're scripted. I'm sure there's people that know. I'm sure some of it's scripted. He also did another movie called Woman Under the Influence with Peter Falk. That's supposed to be really good. That's the next one I want to see. But I only see what they let me see on YouTube because of finance. The other one is called The Complete Films of Agnes Varda. Have no idea. Tokyo Story I've heard a lot about. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it. I think I've seen clips from it. So those are some really good ones to start with if you're going to go into filmmaking. No Bergmans though. So I would add a Bergman, maybe Wild Strawberries. There's other Bergman films that are unknown. Like Bergman's son made a film, Daniel Bergman. He made a film called The Sunday Child, or Sunday Children, or Sunday Child. Pretty good one. Daniel Bergman's film was called Sunday's Children. It was 1992. He didn't put any Bergman in there. Bergman is very controversial because he was known as possibly an atheist. I used to have a bio on him and I got rid of it because of that. But I kind of wish I still had his bio. It was a really good bio. It was given to me by a lady named Stephanie Stafford. And I read a lot of it. It's mostly like, it's the bio that has the death on the front of it holding a scepter, whatever you call it, a scathe, whatever you want to call it, from a movie called The Seventh Seal.
But these are all like real movies, you know? This isn't just like vlogging, like vomiting in Disney World. This is like real movies. Real movies that come from the heart, that people spend a lot of time on and are patient to make. They're not just at lobster places eating food. This is like real food. This is like real movies.
So when I was in New York, I saw Speaking in Tongues by Andrew Bovell. And Karen Allen was there. She walked through the lobby. I was an usher. I was ushering at that time. This is a movie called Starman. John Carpenter directed it. There's a guy named Bruce A. Evans and another one called Reynold Gideon. They both wrote Stand By Me, but they also wrote Starman in 1980. Well, they released it in 1984. And Karen Allen was one of the stars in it. But I was there as an usher waiting. I think I knew that Karen Allen was in it. I didn't know for sure if I knew exactly who Karen Allen was. I remember her from, Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. But she walked like right by. She was sipping on tea. And then she performed that night. She was in a telephone booth on stage. Started off with a telephone booth. She's making a phone call through a telephone booth. The play was very strange. There was another writer behind Starman named Dean Reisner, who started when he was 5 years old in like the early 1900s. And he died a pretty old man. There's Karen Allen, and I saw her in New York City. Right down from where we were at Gramercy Park. We were living, Chris, Peter, David, and I all were living on the third floor on 38 East 21st Street, New York. And Chris told me, he said, hey, you can go to some of these Broadway shows if you usher. I said, really? Yeah, you just go to the front desk and ask them, or go to the clerk or the ticket booth, ask to talk to the manager or whatever, and then you can usher, and they'll let you see the play for free. And I saw Karen Allen. It was a pretty good play. It wasn't as good as Starman, but it was pretty good. Well, it's Fancy Feast, and it's the Giblets chicken and gravy. Get some, kitty, get 'em. We are at 176,583 miles on the speedometer. There's 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And on May 10, 2023, I am Cole Spivey, the host of the Please Subscribe Show. And sometimes I say, welcome to the Please Subscribe Show with your host, moi, Cole Spivey. Well, I've done it a couple of times. So, took the day off. My knee was bothering me because of that incident at Blue Goose Cantina where I hit it on the picnic table, on the chair part, or I guess the seated part of the picnic table. And I wanted to give you I'll just show you the sunset so you can look at the beautiful sunset. So, you can be an actor pretty much anywhere in the world. But when you go to Hollywood, you go to a standard. And you do your very best to try to fit that standard. And I guess, there's going to be a lot of judges. I see it as like the town of vanity or Rome. Martin Luther going back to Rome, standing there going, here I stand. Or however it may be, It's a place that represents a lot of different things. And they probably have scenery that looks like Rome. And they probably have scenery that looks like the town of vanity. Because it kind of is. And the judges are the casting directors, and a lot of the places are run by females. They're female casting directors. And the rumor is if they want to sleep with you, well, then you get the job. I guess you could call, they have these things that are twisted back in the 70s and 80s called couch auditions, which are nightmares to think about. And you don't have to do that. You can walk out in a situation, just like if you walk out any kind of situation where they ask for money, you walk right out of that situation and you just wait and you audition. And you're going to be competitive with a lot of people, but I'm going to switch it over. Give me a second. In Hollywood, you compete, and you got the people that are already there, the people that were born right down the road. that they don't really work. And I don't know if it's because they lack sacrificial aspects of themselves. Maybe they don't really want to do it. But I've thought to myself, you know, what can I do here in Texas and in Fort Worth that's going to help me make money to provide for my family? And I thought about teaching, but no big response on teaching. You know, I've gone to a few teaching fairs, and, you know, they want you to go to every one of them and turn in 1,000 applications, and that's a job in itself. And I don't have the funding to go to turn in 1,000 applications and go to every single teaching fair. So I can only go to a few. I missed the last one at Pascal. So I tried that, and that's a big no. I'd rather, like, I know this sounds crazy, but I'd rather wait until my father passes, if I could. Because the first time I went to Hollywood, I was still in contact with my father, and I told him I was there and that I was, you know, I was auditioning. And he said, well, you know, go to Manhattan Beach. It's a place in California. And you could wait tables there and make quite a bit of money, and you'll be able to make money there, you know. Some kids, when they're growing up, they're abused to a certain extent that they will be sacrificial. They'll fit right into that sacrificial aspect of themselves, you know. Meaning they'll naturally sacrifice parts of themselves to get the work that they need. I don't know if that's inbred in me or beat in me or whatever it was, you know, that caused me to go there the first time. I don't know. But I'm turning 50, and I'm at the point where I'm just going to put it, I'm going to tell you in my own perspective. I don't think my father ever wanted to see me as a financial success, or what you would call a commercial success. I think he wanted to see me as a prisoner, because that's how he treated me when I was growing up. That's how he treated me. And parents can be that cruel. They can. Parents can be that cruel. They see their own children as prisoners, you know. So even if I do succeed, I think I'd become a prisoner of the Hollywood dream. You know, I'd become this prisoner, this actor that, you know, because, you know, if you met someone and they're like, well, I want to be an actor, I'm going out to Hollywood to do the best that I can. I guess you could try to stop them and say, well, what about you don't get work, you know? And that's the thing, you know? That's the rub. Well, don't go. You could come here. You could work at Cracker Barrel. But the problem is they're garnishing my wages. I can't just go and get a job somewhere. They'll garnish my wages. That means I won't be able to make enough for anything. Not even for Kitty. So the reason I'm going to Hollywood isn't necessarily because I really, hey, I want to go, you know. Let's go be Robert Redford. Let's go be a movie star. It's not exactly that reason. It's because I have to go. Because if I don't, I'll never be able to provide. Truly. I can provide a little for the cat and a little for myself. And I can barely get by. Or I can go to Hollywood and I have a better shot at providing not only for my family, but getting a lawyer and suing my mother-in-law or any members of the church that comes before me and my children, and setting my second wife, Angel, straight, right in her tracks. Because if I do succeed and I go get a lawyer, which could take years from now, years, all of a sudden, one day, if she's still around, a piece of paper is going to be handed to her. And it's going to have a summons to go to a court, a family court. And then I'll be ready, because I'm waiting until I'm financially ready. So it's important. This is an important trip that I'll be taking after summer if I reach the 170-pound goal. And it's got to be 170 pound. It can't be 171. I'm getting an exact scale in June. to make sure it's exactly 170. I work in a very specific way. I'm a very specific type of actor. I've done this before. The first time I went out of there, the first time I went to Hollywood, I was 157 pounds, and I waited until I weighed that amount because I knew I could get work being that lightweight, and I did get work. A man at 50 years old weighing at 170 pounds will get work in Hollywood. So I have to wait, but I have to suffer for it. And that's where the sacrificial aspect that was beat into me as a child will come into play. The pain that my father made me feel will come into play. It will work fine for me. And then they will be satisfied. They will get what they want. And I will get a lawyer, a family lawyer. And I will sue Angel Curry, also known as Angel Spivey. I will sue her for taking my children away from me. So I can't do it in this land. This land will not provide such cruelty because it's cruel what I'll do. To sue someone is a cruel thing, and it's not biblical. It's not New Testament. It's bad, but that's what she did to me. And that's what people do when they go beyond the word of God so that they can see their own flesh and blood, or at least get an answer. And this will require private detectives because I'll have to hunt her down in order to sue her, to give her the documents for the court. And it'll be a long process, which costs money. If I go to a lawyer now, it's $200 for 1 hour just to talk to the lawyer to get things set up. There's no way I could be in that position. So when I go there and they say, well, Cole, we don't see that type of talent, I'll say, well, I'll look around until we find that person that can see that type of talent. Because I know that every single person on the planet Earth has the talent to be a movie star. Everyone does. And why not make a good vlog called Actor's Life? Why not make a vlog about me rising up into the Hollywood studios from this point on, all the way to the point where I'll make it? Why not? Because I can tell you how I got there. I can tell you who I talked to. And every casting director I come across, I will tell you everything about it. Because I've dealt with this before. It's not that I'm trying to be cruel. I'm just trying to ultimately provide a civilized life for my family. And if Angel does choose to come back, which there's probably maybe a chance, maybe not, I don't know. It's up to her. She's a woman. She's a free woman. She can make that decision. Then maybe I could have a sit down and have a discussion. But I have to go on a long journey. And the first part of that journey is my health. It's a journey of health, as in H-E-A-L-T-H, health. I have to find the healthiness inside myself. I do not smoke cigarettes. I do not drink beer. I no longer eat tacos. I don't eat tacos anymore. I don't even really eat hamburgers. I do not do fast food anymore. I quit doing that about more than a week ago. No more hot dogs at gas stations. No more easy way out. No more comfort food, right? This is what they want from me, so I'll give them what they want, so that from the pain, the money, or you call it pain or whatever, that in return, I will receive what I want. Because I'm putting in the pain, and then they will give me what I want. And I'm vlogging it to show you this. I always wanted to. All right, let's look at the, I don't know, I guess you call it George Lucas scene right here. Because in a way, distant, long time ago, this is kind of a Star Wars story. A lot of them are Star Wars stories. George Lucas created it. He's got $5 billion. And we're reminded of a Star Wars story, you know? But this is how I'm going to rejoin my family, or at least get an answer, a result from them. Because when I pay the people to do it, when I pay the lawyer, when I pay the private detectives, I will get an answer, and so will you. Because you don't know. You don't have the right to spy on my children. Nobody does. I do once I pay the proper people to do so, to find out where they are, because they're of my blood, they're of my DNA,
And that is what God wants. That's why it'll happen. So Adam, eat your In-N-Out burgers and get all your subscribers. I can't do it anymore. I have to eat healthy. So enjoy your Florida theme park, because I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to Hollywood. One side is Adam looking in, Adam the Woo looking in from the outside, because they don't want to hang out with the hot dog eaters, really. They'll eat occasional hot dog, but they won't pig like he does. And I have to be mean. I have to be mean or I won't make it. So I have to put away childish things and learn to grow up, not weed.